watched videos on LSAT Flex, and I heard from people that it was a little bit easier in a sense. But how would you describe what LSAT Flex is?
Yeah, sure. So Flex is definitely a more pleasant test taking experience for most people. It's 2 hours, 3 sections back to back, and you're done, and you're doing it from home on your computer versus in the past, it was 5 sections at a testing center with other people around you, other proctors and such. And so it was a lot more distracting and a much more stressful environment for most people, I would think.
I know like some people are having technical issues and things of that nature. So would you say that it's about the same, or is the LSAT Flex a little bit easier to take?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you got tech issues with it, then yeah, it's going to be a lot harder, I would think. And so you want to make sure your internet connection's good. You want to make sure that your computer is good. And if those things aren't good, then reach out to LSAC in advance so they can set you up with another place to take it or with even a loaner device. And yeah, obviously tech can be a barrier. It can be a problem. And so at least do what you can in advance to minimize potential issues on your end up front. You can't address everything necessarily, but do what you can.
So it's just going to be the logical games, the reasoning, and the reading comprehension?
Yeah, that's right. So it's 3 sections, one of each back to back. 1 games, 1 reasoning, 1 reading comp. Whereas the regular LSAT was 2 scored logical reasoning sections, not 1. And you also had the experimental section. You don't have that on the Flex. So that's part of why it's shorter and probably smoother, assuming no tech issues, of course.
Okay. I actually have registered for the LSAT in November. Well, actually October and November. I did them both. Do you think that the rest of this year that everything will be on the Flex?
I do. I'd say at this point, we're speaking now beginning of August, I'd say it's 99% October is going to be Flex and maybe 90% November Flex. So yes, I do think all Flex for 2020, and who knows, maybe even into early 2021. If you think about it, we might not get a COVID vaccine for a while. So if that's the case, why would they do the LSAT in person, even with like extreme social distancing measures? Online just seems easier. If they can figure out the tech issues, then that seems a safer way to go for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I figured that, but I just wanted to make sure because I mean, a lot of people, I mean, my test still says that we can possibly have it in a testing center, but I doubt it. I mean, with the way everything's looking, I figured everything was going to be the rest of the year on LSAT Flex.
Yeah. So I just have one thought for you there with November. If you're going for November, you think you're going to do November, prep like it's going to be Flex. And then 6 weeks prior, whenever they decide or announce on it, then that's when you'd start doing your full-length exams anyway and really ramping those up. If it ends up being in person strangely, then you might want to do 5 sections. But for the short term, yeah, just keep it at 3.
Okay. With studying, I know you should prepare like you would take it in person, but is there anything that I should like change about my studying since it will be online? Or do you think I should just continue studying like I would take the test in person?
Do your prep on the computer since that's how it's going to be on test day. So don't do practice tests out of books. If you've got books for just general knowledge, that's fine, but stick with online prep for doing any timed sections or full-length timed exams, because that's what it's going to be like. And so get used to reading on screen, get used to studying on screen.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would have to. It's just, the thing that's scaring me about the LSAT Flex is because I like the idea of like going in person and taking it on paper. The idea of taking a test online really makes me nervous. And studying online, it's just like it's a different feeling, and it takes more discipline and focus, especially when you're in a household where a lot of things are going on around you. You have to work, you have to do other things. That's the only thing that kind of worries me, is just like putting my focus into like a computer. Because when I do a computer, I don't necessarily think studying and actually like focusing on an actual 3-hour long test. I just see my computer as like something I watch videos on or Netflix or something like that. So it's kind of hard to like actually like put my mindset as to you actually have to focus and take this test online. So you should be doing everything online. Like that's the only thing that is a little bit different for me. But
I hear you on that. Yeah, I mean, the internet's full of distractions. And if you're using things like the LSAC site Law Hub, where it is online, you got to be connected to the internet. It's not like you can turn off internet. You got to use it. You just got to make sure that you're not opening anything else, period. And there are some apps that can help you lock yourself out of certain things. Like if you want to ban yourself from Facebook or ban yourself from other social media or other internet, pick your poison of whatever distracts you. If you can cut yourself off from all of that, that could be useful for distractions online, if that's what you were referring to. And then with family stuff, it's hard to study with family at home. There's no getting around that. You can try to get them to agree to leave you alone or stay quiet or whatever, but it's only so much you could do. I get it. For the actual day of, though, you can say to LSAC, you know what, my home environment is not suitable. I can't control it. If somebody else is going to barge in or make too much noise, or if my internet's going to be shaky, you can say that to them and they will actually credit you $125. To go take it at a hotel.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. So
I was wondering about that too. I was like, a lot of people don't have like very good family environments that they are able to take the test in. And I don't know if libraries are open right now or not, but I don't even know if that's an option for me. So it's just finding a space where I feel comfortable enough to where I don't have any distractions was a big concern for me. And I feel like it's a big concern for a lot of other people too. So yeah, that's definitely nice that they did that though, because I was wondering about that, how they were gonna accommodate people who didn't have like a good environment to take the test in. I had another question. I just had it. I think it was about so how are they gonna tell about cheating? Like, how is the cheating part of it gonna work? Because I know we have our phones with us. We have other materials that could probably be like around us where we could possibly get answers from. And we also have like the internet. So how would they be able to tell about cheating and stuff like that?
Yeah, great question. So they partnered with a company called ProctorU, which administers online exams. They watch you with a webcam and monitor your microphone. And so they're recording all of that for later analysis as well in the case of anything suspicious. So they're going to have you scan the room to make sure there's nothing inappropriate in your environment, like no LSAT books, no cheat sheets, nobody else who could be helping you. They look for all of that. They have you do a whole panoramic view of your room. You scan your room. They even have you use your phone as a mirror to make sure there's nothing taped next to your screen either that they otherwise wouldn't be able to see. They have software that closes out of all other programs. And so I think it's probably sufficient. I can't really see anybody reasonably beating that. And also, it's not really that easy to cheat on the LSAT because it's not a memorization test. It's not like you'd be looking up what is a mitochondria like you would for a biology test or something. Like it's a skills-based test. And so any support you could get would take longer than you have on the exam to actually do it. The only thing is if somebody else was taking it for you instead of you, but you also hold up your government photo ID to the camera to show next to your face to show that it's you doing it. So I don't really see anybody cheating on this. The only way you would cheat is if you had double time or extra time beyond what was permitted for you. And then you can't do that with an online exam like this. That would be more like a take-home exam sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I was wondering about that though, because not many people spoke about like how that part of the test was. So I was a little bit concerned. I mean, I figured that they would have the cameras on you, they could be able to see you, but I didn't know they was like able to control like your computer and stuff like that. I didn't know that. And that they're able to see that much. So that's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, they lock that all down from the software side. By the way, do you have a PC or a Mac?
I have it's an HP, so probably a PC.
Okay, so PC. There's an issue that some Macs have where there's a certain operating system. They have to disable some things on it to make their security stuff work. But I think for a PC, like an HP, you'd be fine.
Okay. Mm. Is there a certain laptop that I should use for the test, or is any laptop good? Because I have a Chromebook, and Chromebooks are terrible. They're like the worst computer ever. I'm actually getting my other computer fixed, which is a Dell laptop. So I feel like Chromebooks are just, I don't know if I would take the test on this computer.
No, Chromebook's not going to be good. It's not sufficiently complex or powerful enough to do what it is they need it to do. So it needs to be like an actual serious laptop. I think an HP or a Dell would be fine. And ProctorU has all the specifics of what tech requirements you need in order to make it work, but you want something running Windows or Mac. So a Chromebook isn't going to do it.
Okay, yeah, I have another Windows computer that's getting fixed as we speak. So I figured that this Chromebook was not going to be substantial for this
No.
test. So,
but again, I want to emphasize though that if you didn't, let's say you didn't get your computer fixed, that's fine. You could contact LSAC and they'll give you a loaner. And so you don't need to own any devices. Like obviously most people have smartphones, I think, but a smartphone, you can't do it on a smartphone. You can't do it on a tablet either. You need a computer, but if you don't have one, LSAC will hook you up. So you don't have to worry about that. And the good news is that the funny thing is that the loaner devices aren't computers. They're tablets. It's the weirdest thing. Like, yeah, like for the Flex, the default is for you to do it on a computer, but if you don't have a computer, they lend you a tablet. They mail it to you and you mail it back afterwards. So I guess they have all those old tablets sitting around from the digital LSAT that are collecting dust right now. So that's what they're giving people.
oh, okay, that's nice of them. See, that's good. Now I feel better because I was worried. I was like, how are we going to have materials? Like, what if we don't have certain things? How are they going to accommodate? But they're doing pretty good. I think they looked at a lot of different things and are trying their best to help students take this test. So
they're definitely trying. Definitely trying. Yeah. And the good things, I mean, now you get a vacation for a night. You get to stay at a hotel if you want to get a better environment for it.
That's good. I'm trying to think what else about the test. Do you think it's easier to get a better score now that it's on the LSAT Flex, or do you still think that despite it being online, you're still going to have to work as hard as you would at the actual test with the 5 sections in it? Do you think that this will be easier for students?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. And the answer is no. It's not going to be easier to get a higher score because that would be completely unfair. You know, there are people who are applying with paper or digital LSAT scores that if that was harder, and then you take a Flex, get a higher score, that would not be doing what the LSAT's looking to do, which is really get a gauge of where you're truly at. So they do all kinds of detailed data analysis and they crunch the numbers to make sure that everything's equivalent. So a 170 on the Flex is the same as a 170 on the digital. But I will also acknowledge that if test anxiety means that taking it in person would be harder for somebody, then they're probably better off doing the Flex. Or alternatively, if the home environment's not good and you didn't go to a hotel for whatever reason, that might be an extra barrier. Or if your internet wasn't good, that might be an extra barrier. And so take advantage of those things if you need them. Like if your internet's shaky, take it at a hotel. If your device isn't good, ask LSAC for a loaner. If your home environment's too noisy, go to a hotel. Like take advantage fully of everything they're providing to set yourself up for maximal success. I have heard from people who said, I had tech glitches because my internet wasn't good. Mm-hmm. And that's really sad to me because that could have been avoided, but at least, you know, going forward.
Yeah, that's true. Because, I mean, although it was online, I've been hearing about people's scores and stuff, and I don't feel like their scores was anything different than it would be if they took the actual test on paper. So I was a little bit, just wanted to know, like, is it easier or is it just the same? But I figured it would be around close to the same. But the 3 sections now is a little bit better. It gives me more peace of mind because definitely those 5 sections was already scaring me as it was. I was like, oh, that's a lot. So do you get a break during the at all during the test?
On the Flex, no. The Flex is 3 sections back to back and you're done. And that's actually part of why it's shorter. That's part of why it's not 5 sections because they didn't want to have to deal with bathroom breaks because of maybe a little bit due to security, although I don't think it's a huge issue even still. But There's no breaks, 3 sections, back to back, 2 hours, you're done. Somebody who had extra time accommodations, then they might get more time, then they might get a bathroom break. But under normal circumstances, it's just 3 sections, you're done, no break.
And is it still 3 hours, or is it less than that?
No, it's 2 hours because you got 35-minute sections, 3 of them. So that ends up being just about 2 hours, maybe a little more, given that you've got to deal with like setting up and dealing with the proctor and them checking your computer and stuff. But it's definitely shorter than test day under normal circumstances in person.
For the LSAT Flex, do you think that Khan Academy or the prep course on LSAT.org is going to benefit you in studying for the test?
It's a decent starting point, but it's not going to be enough. No, the LSAC provided stuff is pretty minimal. Now, I think it's great that they gave Khan Academy 10 free exams, but the explanations are pretty bare bones. I wouldn't want anybody to use that as their only source of prep material. There's a ton of other stuff out there that's way more in depth from people who are truly experienced at this exam, doing it for a very long time. And so I would encourage you to not just limit yourself to the free stuff from LSAC.
Okay. Yeah, I was definitely thinking about doing a prep course, an online prep course from somebody. So I might need to just get ready to do that because, yeah, the Khan Academy, while it is okay, I feel like it's not enough. And of course, not enough, but I haven't really tried the prep courses on LSAC.org yet, the free stuff. So I don't really know if that's going to really work for me. But Khan Academy is definitely not enough. It's just like the bare minimum. It's like a kiddie version of what the test is actually going to be. So yeah, that's understandable.
Cool. Well, if you have any questions regarding my courses, feel free to let me know. I've got live online classes, on-demand video lessons, group coaching. I've also got tons of different guides and such. But if you're looking for courses, I mean, check mine out. I've got live video classes happening every week.
Definitely. I'll definitely do that. Definitely do that. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think you answered most of my questions that I had.
Cool. Well, I'm really glad we connected. Please keep in touch and let me know if you need anything at all moving forward. I'm happy to help.
Yes, and I'll definitely is your prep courses and everything information in your Instagram bio, or
just check out the link in my bio. Yeah. So the link in my bio, just LSAT courses right there. If you have any questions, definitely reach out and let me know.
I'll do that. Well, thank you so much for answering and helping me out and giving me a more peace of mind on this test. Hopefully I do well. Actually, I'm going to speak it into existence. I know I will do well. So I just have to put in the work and get everything ready for this test. But thank you so much for helping me.
Yeah, of course. Definitely. Keep in touch again. Let me know if you need anything moving forward.
All righty. Thank you.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.